Three, two, one.
What's happening, Toku Nation, and welcome to a brand new video on the Power Right Rashom channel. And today, we're going to be talking about time travel. I'm wearing my Flash shirt today since we're going to be talking about that now, and more specifically, how I would go on to adapt it. Now, this idea has been written, rewritten, scrapped, redone, redoed so many times. And I feel like this is kind of my favorite way to do it. And we're going to talk about it. But before we get into it, be sure to like, subscribe so we can hit 100 subscribers by the end of the year. And also share the video with someone who likes this kind of stuff, like Tokusatsu, Kamen Rider Den-O, Kamen Rider adaptations, and just me being an idiot on camera, because that's always fun. And with all that being said, let's get straight to the video. So, our epic's tale starts with Chris, who is the unluckiest man alive, who has terrible social skills, and honestly just wants to live a very happy life. And he also have this girl he's crushing on, and he wishes that he could get her to notice him since she doesn't. Don't know if I want to set this in high school or college or something else, but basically they have something that they do together. Maybe it's this, like, they work at the same job, go to the same school, or they just like see each other at different places. And like, yeah, this guy likes her. He thinks she's cool, and she would never go for a guy like him. So he kind of just admires from afar. And one day he hears voices, and he hears 4 distinct voices telling him to watch out and look out, and is like, should we bring him on the ship? Well, not the ship, the train. And it's gonna be like, what the heck is going on? And he's gonna think that he's losing his mind, of course, because when you hear voices in your head, you think that you're going crazy. Unless you're me, and then you hear your own voice in your head. But enough about that. So he goes home, it's late at night, it's been a long day of him helping people do things around the city, and he is trying to fall asleep. But then he hears a knock. It's a faint knock. But then it gets louder and louder and louder and louder and louder until BAM! Door goes flying off his hinges into the wall, and 4 differently designed monsters are in the door frame. Charlie, being so freaked out, he faints, and when he wakes up, he's on the train where he meets Charlotte, and Charlotte is just like, yo, sorry about them, they can be a little rowdy, and here's some coffee for you to calm your nerves, even though coffee probably won't do that for him. So he asks what the heck is going on, and basically she gives him the rundown of what's going on. Where basically there are monsters that were sent from the future to kill him. And the person that wants to do that is also back here commanding the monsters to kill him. And she and the 4 monsters on the train here are trying to protect him and give him the equipment and skills he needs in order to protect himself from these monsters. Basically, they're gonna make him a Power Rider. They're gonna give him the power to go through time and fight monsters, because of course this guy knows the main character. He knows Christopher somehow. And he knows that if he puts other people's lives in danger, Christopher here is gonna wanna act. And what better way to do that than causing havoc all throughout time and luring him into the trap of killing him? I mean, that's a pretty genius plan. It's like, heroes are super predictable. So Charlotte, like, gives him the timeline, the time driver, basically. where the four monsters on the train can lend power to him to transform into a Power Rider. Power Rider timeline. Since that's the whole deal. That's the whole deal. Since he's also a time traveler that's on a train. Timeline. Genius naming there. And of course, Christopher is just like, I don't know. This seems kind of heavy. I don't think I can handle this. Especially who I am. I am not a hero. I'm just a regular guy who can't even get this girl to like him. So, no way that I can fight monsters to be a hero to people and probably stop the ending of the timeline. So, they give him some time to think about it. And, of course, he would just not really know what to do, since this could be a very good thing to do, since people's lives are going to be at risk. But then again, he doesn't believe in himself to actually be able to do it. So, of course, he's going to be kind of split on this, until we see a monster that was following him from the day before actually tracking him down and then trying to kill him. And luckily, he still has his pass, so he can just get on the train. And once he gets on the train, all heck breaks loose, because this monster is destroying the city, of course, causing mayhem, causing destruction, hopefully not death. And this is what really gives him the wake-up call in order to say, okay, I kind of have to do this. If I'm the only one that can do this, I'm going to have to take on the responsibility. And this gives him the drive to actually put on the driver and transform into Kamen Rider Timeline. But it's just a platform. It's just the platform form. And it's just like, he can't really fight with this form because he doesn't really know how to fight and he doesn't have a weapon. And fist fighting this thing is probably not going to be the best idea. So, Momo jumps in, lends him his power possesses him, and becomes sword form. And beats the monster, destroys it, and bam! That's episode 1. We see that Christopher is on board with the idea of being a superhero. And now the show kind of is about him going through the motions, going through the locomotion of the whole show, and just going from this meek loser guy to a guy who is actually pretty powerful and self-assured and a lot more confident by the end. So his story is about self-improvement, because every writer needs to improve in some way, and it's just like, it's not interesting to watch a person go through certain trials and not really change all that much, especially if they're the main character, unless you're Forze, where you're perfect and you need to help everybody else change. Maybe I should do that for something else. But anyway, what about the Taros? Well, for the most part, they're gonna stay relatively the same. I don't really think changing them would really help all that much, because they're pretty perfect the way they are, and I just like them too much to really alter them all that much. So here, Charlotte is from the future, of course, and she's also Christopher's daughter from the future. And the mother happens to be the girl that Christopher is crushing on. So the Taros are going to try to help him set history into motion and get this girl to like him back. And it's going to be a kind of fun romance kind of thing, or it's comedy is also ensuing. But I really think that would be a really good secondary like genre, sort of, where it's like action, comedy, and romance put together, and that sounds really great. And then, like, Charlotte is kind of our owner slash Hana slash Naomi. She's a fusion of a bunch of different characters. And she is kind of like the compass, the person that guides Christopher into being Timeline. And she's kind of his like person, his dude in the chair. Like person in the chair, in the base, trying to get all the information out to him so he can actually fight better. And throughout the show, we'll see the Taros actually having their physical forms. Rather than like just being on the train, they would also be in our world, helping him and training him and doing different things. Like Momotaros will help him with his sword fighting skills. Urotaros will help him with his talking skills, since you need to know how to negotiate in order to see if a person is a monster. Well, monster being like bad person. And then Kintaros will help him build up his upper body and have him do like 1,000 push-ups, and it's gonna be like, what? Why do I have to do that? And it's gonna be hilarious. And then Ryutaros will help him with his breakdancing skills and his marksmanship. So basically, like, they are his mentors as well to help him like be able to fight on his own, since here I want to do something a little different and give Christopher a little more control over when he uses one of their powers. They can still possess him, but they don't have to possess him. It's only in the beginning when we see the possessing, and like this will like help Christopher feel like, yo, I need to be able to fight on my own. And they agree, so they'll help him out through training and hardship and beating bad guys. And that also will fuel his whole thing about improving himself and becoming a better person. Now, when it comes to Zeneros, that's actually going to be Charlotte's brother, which means that he is actually going to be like Christopher's son from the future. So this guy's name is Tristan, and this guy is like this cocky, kind of just arrogant, kind of just like full of himself dude, and it's just like his whole deal, of course, is to be less of a douche and to be more humble and not take losing so hard whenever he loses, because if his confidence and his pride breaks, then he's gonna be a moving mess, which is why he puts people down to make himself feel better. But when he is put down a few pegs by different monsters and our main bad guy, it's going to show him that A, he can't do this alone, since he has this whole standalone like complex whatever, and he's just gonna be like, dude, I need your help. And this is going to lead on to the final battle later on. Now our bad guy here, one who sent the monsters, the guy who is here to murder the main character and just destroy anyone just to get to him, is actually going to be an old friend of Christopher when he is in the past. Like, Christopher's past best friend in the future actually becomes the villain and creates all the monsters, and he's like a scientist. He creates all the monsters to go back in time to kill Christopher. Now, the Taros would have been his creation as well, of course. But these guys are a lot more intelligent and have a lot more personality than the other monsters that we'll face later on. And these guys would have been tasked to kill Christopher in the future. But after seeing what kind of guy Christopher is, which is not a bad guy and actually a pretty good guy, they don't think they want to take orders from this guy, because they were told that this guy is a total terrible person, but he isn't. And then, main bad guy, who I'm just gonna call Kai since I haven't thought of a name for him. So Kai is gonna be like, well, I'm just gonna go to the past and kill him. I don't need you guys. I can just make a freaking army of monsters and just have them take care of him in the past where he is not this powerful. Since, of course, he is this cool, courageous, confident guy in the future. But in the past, he's this pile mess of emotions. So, going back in time, he is going to try to kill him with the remnants. So, why is he doing all this? Well, because love. AKA, nice guy syndrome. This guy is going to believe that his wife should have been with him and he should just kill Christopher, disturb the space-time continuum, and just take this girl from himself. Now, I don't know if I want his past version to also be involved with this, but it'd be really cool if he was. And he would also probably become a Power Writer as well. And he would use like Yuki's form, since that'd be pretty cool. So, yeah, he's doing this for love, but it's actually more just entitlement. This guy's a very petty person trying to destroy the space-time continuum just to kill this one guy because the girl he liked didn't like him back. And she liked this loser dude. And he's so much better than him. Yeah, this guy's pretty bad. He's not a very likable person. But honestly, that's kind of some of the fun of making these kinds of petty villains, because sometimes they can be likable, but sometimes they aren't. And it doesn't really matter which side you really play it, as long as you play it good. So, that's our main villain, and Tristan, who becomes Power Ranger Time Warp, because it's warping time to get to the past, of course, is going to be secondary writer, and their relationship, all three of them, plus Taro's, will give them the ability to be able to fight against Kai. And maybe Charlotte also becomes a writer too, and she becomes like, she uses New Deno, and that'd be really cool. But honestly, this feels kind of not incomplete, since I don't have the whole plot plotted out. But those are just my basic ideas for this adaptation. So, with all that being said, thank you all for watching. Of course, if you like I said in the beginning, like, comment, subscribe, and also share the video. Help me get to 100 subscribers by the end of the year. Next week is going to be my birthday. I don't know if I want to make a video yet, but I might not, depending on what I get in the packet in the mail. Ooh, secret. But with all that being said, I'll see you all next time. Peace out, Toku Nation.